question for you. Who is your target audience? Now, if you can't answer that question quickly and succinctly, your marketing is going to suffer. So here is a second question. What do they look like? What do they earn? Where do they hang out on social media? What interests them? What scares them? And what keeps them awake at night? And as much as we'd all like to think our target customer is absolutely anybody and everybody, it doesn't really work that way. Similarly, it's not actually very helpful from a marketing perspective, and you cannot sell to everybody. Instead, you need to narrow down who you'd like to attract and get to know them as much as possible, a bit like dating. And this is where the customer persona comes in. I'm Mark Ford, coach, author, and editor here at Your Best Kept Business Secret. Throw us a love, like, and some shares, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to tell you what a customer persona is and how you can work one out. What is a customer persona? Well, a customer persona is a profile of your ideal customer and client. In other words, who you'd like to talk to when you are putting your marketing material together. It's not a representation of an actual person, of course. Instead, it's a fictional embodiment of the characteristics that make up your ideal buyer. So why do you need a customer persona? Well, you cannot market to somebody if you don't have a good idea of who they are. You see, now by creating a customer persona, you give yourself a focus when it comes to crafting all your marketing material. By knowing your ideal customer, you can speak to them more effectively. See, your customer persona will guide your brand voice, your products, your service decisions, and the marketing channels that you use, and of course, the messaging that you need to use. So listen on and learn how to create one. Step one, demographic information. Now, this is the stage about the most basic information about your character. What gender are they? How old are they? What life stage are they at? Where do they live? It can be really helpful to kind of like give them a name, if you wish. Like choose something memorable, like Magnificent Mark or Jittery Jessica, whatever you want to do. But some people even find a stock photograph that actually represents that ideal customer. And look, feel free to do that if you are that type of person that is a great visual learner. Step two, interests and work. The exact focus in this section will kind of depend on the nature of your business. Now, if you sell products or services that are likely to be purchased by individuals, you'll want to focus on your ideal customers' interests and how they spend their free time. But if your focus is more on a business, B2B kind of sales, you want to learn about your ideal customer's journey, their company, their job role, their level of responsibility, and their decision-making power. Now, in this section, you should also consider your ideal customers' media habits. For example, do they spend more time on LinkedIn or Instagram? What newspapers or magazines do they actually read? Do they prefer to read books or watch TV? And so on and so on and so on. Understanding their media preferences will inform where you're going to market to them, and more importantly, what type of message you're going to use for them. Number three, consumer habits. Now, at this stage, we'll learn how your ideal customer normally spends their money. How much do they earn and what level of disposable income have they got? Do they like to make impulse buys, or is every purchase carefully assessed first? How much money do they typically spend on products or services like yours? In the case of B2B marketing, you should consider the finances of your target company. What is their annual turnover? What kind of budget do they have to spend on products or services like yours? Who gets to make those purchasing decisions? Number four, problems. Now, this is perhaps the most important step in creating your customer persona. Once you know what problems your ideal customer is facing, you can start working out how your product or service is, well, it's going to help them or solve it. The problems you identify should be relevant to what you sell, of course. And here is some examples, right? So Bob is starting a new job, he's on a tight budget, and he needs some new workwear. Jane is a CMO of a large company, PLC, and her team are struggling to make their annual sales quotas. So try and condense your ideal customer's problems down into no more than 2 sentences. Number 5, your desired outcomes. Now, you've identified your customer's problem, and now you need to work out what outcome they'd like to see. In other words, what do they want? Naturally, this should be something that you will try and provide with your products and services. And to return to the earlier examples, Bob's ideal solution might be, well, he'd like to find a company selling stylish but affordable workwear so he can feel confident on his first day in the new office. And Jane's ideal solution might be that she would like to find an all-in-one digital solution that will help her team attract new leads and boost their conversion rates, and so on. Number 6, you've got to put it all together. Now, by bringing this all together, you should have a reasonably clear picture of your ideal customer or client. And at this stage, go back over what you've written and see if there are any glaring issues. For example, if you discover that your ideal customer budget is way out of sync with what your products cost, you'll need to rethink your marketing plan. See, once you're happy with your customer persona, save it somewhere very prominent. I know some business owners, they've actually printed it off and they've actually got it on the walls in their office, but they refer back to it each time they're trying to make a marketing decision. And if you're guided all of the time by your customers, their problems and their needs, trust me, you're not going to go very far wrong. And that's it for this podcast. I apologize if I look a little bit distracted if you've been watching this on the video. It's because my teleprompter broke this morning, so I'm having to do this kind of old school. But it's the end of the podcast. It's working on customer personas and understanding who your ideal customer or client. And actually, do you know what? It's going to save you money, time, and effort. And strangely, it's something that is often brushed over in business self-help books, but as insignificant as it may seem, it's probably one of the most powerful tools in business owners' arsenal. So I am Mark Ford, coach, author, and editor here at Your Best Kept Business Secret. That's how to put a persona together. Throw us some likes, loves, shares, and subscribes. And for more articles, videos, and podcasts, go to www.yourbestkeptbusinesssecret.co.uk or subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or Podbean, or maybe even go and subscribe to us on our amazing YouTube channel. I am Mark Ford. You have been amazing. I'll see you on the other side.